Coach Teresa Ford here, and this is the Guiding You Home podcast. This is a thought-provoking and often humorous approach to moving you closer to the only one who can genuinely help you live a life of abundance and prosperity. Sound good? Yeah, it's you that needs to go within so you can sit in the driver's seat of your life, co-creating with God. So make room for more light and knowledge. As you continue to listen, you will discover elements of how to lead with your inner light, how to act on your specific promptings, and how to follow your spiritual intuition so you can fulfill the measure of your creation. Thanks for being here, and let's dive in. Hello. Welcome to podcast number 13, The Butterfly Principle. We are talking about teaching others the way we want to be treated. That means that we have the power, we are in control of how we teach other people to treat us. Oftentimes we feel like the world is being put upon us, like other people are placing their expectations on us, and so we feel powerless to overcome those things sometimes. And it's literally the other way around. It is our job to set boundaries in place to teach other people the way we want to be treated. You know, they always say treat others the way you want to be treated, but other people, if they're unhealthy, are going to probably treat you with the same energy they think they deserve. So that's not really going to work if you're dealing with unhealthy people. And maybe you're one of those unhealthy people. Maybe you've come from a background where unhealthy was sort of the legacy your family left you. Lucky. Mine was that way. So, I understand if that is the case. So that's not a judgment. It's really more, I relate. But I just had this really great conversation with someone where they came from the family legacy that says we all need to be stuck in our cocoons and nobody gets to get wings to fly. and that really will never sit well with us. We will feel strangled, basically, if we don't ever develop our wings and burst out of our cocoons. One of the things that came to light in this conversation that we were having was mostly this cycle of toxic relationships. And by the way, we'll probably talk about boundaries here in the near future, but boundaries are for unhealthy relationships. You don't actually have to have boundaries if you're healthy and the other person is healthy. Now you're operating from a standpoint of having standards, and standards are like, I respect your boundaries or I respect your wishes. And if there's mutual respect between people, then there's no need to set a boundary. So this particular butterfly principle is dealing with toxic relationships or unhealthy relationships. And that's why it's important that we give off the right signals and the right instructions, so to speak, that will help other people understand how you want to be treated, not how they want to treat you. And that's where it gets a little messy. We keep thinking that they're not treating me right. They're not doing what I need them to do so I can be happy. Quote, air quotes there, happy. But it's nobody else's job but yours to make yourself happy. It's your job to fulfill the measure of your creation, even if you came from a toxic environment where there was chaos and emotional instability, okay? So given the fact that we all have a responsibility to be as healthy as possible, and that's an ever-changing environment, if you will, because we have a lot of different facets in our life. We have our significant others, we have our parental and child roles, we have our co-worker role or our boss role in the work environment, we have neighborhood roles and community roles to play. And so some of those might be toxic and the others might be healthy. And so the ones that are toxic, you know they are because they're driving you crazy. There's too much confrontation or confrontation avoidance. Those are both things. And it's important to think about the areas of your life that are not satisfying to you, so we can get into the areas of your life that can be much more satisfying, or we can actually even them out, make them equal so they reflect one another, right? So I know some people that make a lot of money, but they can't keep their personal life together. I know some people that are just amazing friends, but they, implode when it comes to earning a living. So when we become whole in every area of our life, it is literally like getting your butterfly wings and flying free. You feel very free, and there's not much effort to it. When butterflies fly, they really fly. They don't sputter around on the ground much unless they broke out of their cocoon too soon. So it's like a chicken. You never help it out of the egg. It won't develop and survive. So butterflies are the same way. They must struggle a bit to get out of the cocoon in order to survive. And then it takes a couple hours for their wings to dry. And there's this integration process from going from the cocoon into life. So let me back up a little bit and just talk about the cocoon itself. So we all have a book of life. We've all agreed to have some sort of struggle in this life in order for us to know what we don't want, so we can go towards what we do want. And when we know what we don't want, we'll kick and struggle a bit to figure it out. Some of us struggle less. The amount of time that we struggle is shorter, and some of us take a long time. And it's not that you're ever late. You're not late if you're struggling late into your midlife. You are on time. You literally couldn't have unfolded your wings sooner. You figure it out when you figure it out. That's all there is to it. So you're never late to the party, so to speak. But when we have this book of life and we have agreed to have contrast in our life so that we can find our way to the light, so to speak, we can get out of the cocoon and fly free. We sometimes have situations that are part of the cocoon experience, and sometimes we have people that are part of the cocoon experience. And so we're referring more to the people experience that helps you understand what the cocoon was for. So sometimes when we have, say our family is toxic, like there's just a lot of drama, there's people that are narcissists, there are people that are codependent, there are people that just always have victimitis, there are people that just couldn't be nice to save their life. Like whatever was going on in your family history, or this could even be a work environment, or it could be a neighborhood thing or friends or whatever. You know who these people are in your life. If this relationship isn't looked at as a benefit to you, then it's going to be toxic to you. So that's like saying, if you're sitting in the cocoon assuming that others are holding you stuck, they've got their thumb on you, they always make you feel small, they're literally out to make you feel a little bit crazy, they're gaslighting, they're doing these things that are not acceptable behavior, and they don't come from healthy people, right? It's not healthy behavior. If those things are coming and you just hate them for it, you're just mad that they kept you stuck, they didn't let you out of the cocoon, you were held hostage inside of this thing that was supposed to birth you. It was literally for you to make a transformation inside that cocoon. If you hate that part of your life, then you're never going to get your wings, because you believe the cocoon was there to hurt you, that it was there to hold you back, that it was there to stunt your growth. That's where your beliefs come into play. That's why it's so incredibly important for you to take those beliefs and flip them. If you believe that the cocoon, or the people that formed up your cocoon family, so to speak, that there were toxic people's siblings or parents or caretakers or teachers or what have you, that they were there to show you how strong you could be. They were there to show you this is an ugly life. And you're like, yes, it is, but I think I want to do something other than have an ugly life. That would be your opportunity to thank them. Thank you for showing me so much about what I don't want in my life, so I can finally go give myself permission to break free of the cocoon and go fly away. There's an element and a need for gratitude and appreciation, which are different. Gratitude is heavier because it's like, oh, look what I had to do to get here. I'm so grateful I'm here now. Appreciation is like, man, you've taught me everything I need to know to take another step. I appreciate it so much. And appreciation is more present. It's more in the now. It's in the realization that, wow, what if I had wings all this time, but I was just so busy being mad at the cocoon for holding me hostage that I never even noticed that I had transformed from a caterpillar that had no means of leaving the ground to being a butterfly that could fly free and was not bound by the laws of gravity. I mean, think about it. Is your mind holding you back because you just hate that part of your life that just didn't give you the opportunity you thought you should have had to be like other people, where you felt appreciated and you felt loved and you felt supported and you felt valued and you felt like the spotlight was on you and you were in need of nothing, really? That nobody gets through this life without a challenge. I promise. Everybody has them. Even if they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, they will come across something in their life that makes it feel very dissatisfying. But I'm really referring to those of us who felt like their life was a waste. Like the time that we spent was too hard and we missed out on life. We missed out on opportunities to be happy. We missed out on opportunities to experience true friendship or experience to belong to groups or families or what have you. If you think that you want a do-over, and that's sometimes how you know that your mind, your belief system has been holding you hostage this whole time. If you believe that you wish you could have a do-over, even though you know that's not possible, you're always thinking about the past, and you're always having these conversations in your head about, well, I would have said this to this person, and that was so wrong of them to behave that way towards me. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do it, right? If you're having these conversations where you're trying to rectify the past, even if it was the recent past, that's how you know that you're looking at the cocoon as the reason why you're still stuck. But you're only as stuck as you want to be, because if you have this desire to break free, to do something other than what your family's always done, I call them pattern breakers. If you're a pattern breaker, because you're no longer available to keep doing the same family pattern that has always happened, and you want to set a different example, you want to make your contribution in the world, you really want to be happy and engaged and looking forward to life and believing and hopeful and all those things. If that's what you want, you're a pattern breaker and you're a butterfly. You're actually not one of the cocoon members. You're a butterfly and you have wings, and the only thing we need to do is stop needing to be in the cocoon. Sometimes we don't believe we deserve to leave the cocoon. It's like, well, if I'm a butterfly, if I leave the cocoon, then I'm leaving behind all these other miserable people, and then they're phone bombing me and they're text bombing me and they're trying to get me to come back to the cocoon and be with them in their misery in the cocoon. And you're like, what if I'm awake and you guys are dormant? What if you're sleepers And the cocoon is just sleeping. It's just a sleepy place. And what if I'm a butterfly and I'm looking at you going, why do you want me to be the cocoon like you? Does that make sense? Some people are put here for our greater good, meaning they're going to squash us, berate us, shame us, guilt us. They're going to do everything possible to see if we will just not fly away, to hold us back. And that is one of the greatest gifts they could ever give you. Because if you're like, that is just so unsatisfying to expect that I have to do what they need me to do in order for them to be happy, even though we know it's an impossible task to make other people happy. It's not our job. Our only job, we have one job, and that is to match our desires and our inner self and line up with the person we were meant to be. That is our only job. And it's a big one. I'm not trying to minimize it here, but it's not our job to manage other people's emotions about us and what we choose to do with our life. It is not our job to manage our social image. Whatever they think about us, they're going to think about us because of who they are, not because of who you are. So that's when it's important to go, oh, I actually don't need to stay stuck in the cocoon. I was born to break free from the cocoon. And these people that want me to play small so they don't feel bad about themselves, it's okay. They're here to help me. They're helping me discover what I don't want so I can go do what I was born to do, because that is what I do want. Does that make sense? Like this is a big idea, because if our brain is focused on why we can't break free and all the reasons why our life is about other people and what they need from us, and they keep taking from us and taking from us, and we don't have anything left to give, like we're on the back burner, we're not practicing self-care anymore, we've been squashed, we've been manipulated, we've been controlled, and we feel like crap. That's just you believing that you deserve that you must stay there, that you are one of them. But if you just have this gut feeling, like this idea that just keeps popping up in your mind, that's like, but maybe I could be happy. Maybe I could pull my life together. Maybe I could go be, do, and have anything I set my mind on if I believe once and for all that I have the wings to fly to actually break free and do those things. That I could have financial freedom. I could find the love of my life. I could have healthy relationships and friends. I could belong if I allowed myself to, right? There's just so much that we could go after if we could just give ourselves permission to leave the cocoon, thanking the cocoon, right? We're not hateful people. We are not people who are resentful by nature. That was developed in us. We're not annoying people. We're not annoyed people. We are literally just becoming the essence of goodness and freedom and abundance. Like we're expanding all the time. If you ever stop expanding, it's because you're stuck in the cocoon. And whatever that cocoon is for you, you're just making assumptions that it's the reason you're not breaking free, rather than making the assumption that everything is possible for you because you've had the power to break out of the cocoon all along. Does that make sense? A butterfly is only going to do what a butterfly is built to do. A butterfly, in the history of the natural process of a caterpillar from its own egg into the caterpillar, shedding its skin as it grows so it doesn't get crushed inside of its own skin, and shedding until it's time to create the cocoon, to be inside the cocoon, to transform into a butterfly, and for the cocoon to turn transparent, and then the butterfly breaks free and the wings dry, and then it's able to fly. Like that whole process, never once in the whole process did the butterfly decide it wasn't going to finish the process. If you are a butterfly, and I think we're all butterflies, but whether or not we believe we can break free of the cocoon that we are pointing at, we're looking at, that we're like, that's the reason why I can't fly. But if you've ever done that, it is your lack of insight as to your true power. You have the power to break free. You have the power to do what you were born to do. You have the power to pull yourself through this process of opening up the cocoon and emerging the butterfly, realizing that it's just a matter of time at that point before you fly and you join all the other butterflies. And it's springtime and everything's coming alive, and I'm telling you, nothing will make you feel more alive than that kind of personal growth, that kind of momentum, that kind of freedom. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this has been available to me all this time. But the only reason you're feeling stuck, smothered, maybe even suffocated in your life, and it might not be every area of your life. It might just be certain areas of your life. If those are the feelings that you've had, you're frustrated, you're annoyed, you're just angry, the wheels come off, you have tantrums, you have meltdowns, like you start acting like a little child, it's totally a normal reaction to thinking that you are not allowed to leave the cocoon. It's okay. So we're not judging those things. We're actually saying that would be a normal response because you are in such sharp disagreement with being stuck. So the butterfly principle applies to the fact that you break free from the cocoon no matter what other people think of you. Whether they think it's time or the right way to emerge, or that you can't because they need you to take care of them. Yeah, none of that's true. And so when you emerge and you get better, then guess what? Everybody's going to get better. Then you stop enabling other toxic people to treat you like crap. You're teaching them how to teach you, or how to treat you. That you are the butterfly. You're like, you can't treat me like I belong in the cocoon. I don't. You must treat me like the butterfly that I am. But you don't have to yell at them. You don't have to be mad at them. And you don't have to give them a big lecture about it. You're not even trying to explain this to them. You simply breaking free of the cocoon and flying and living your life and doing what you love and, playing with the ups and downs of the breeze and the variety in nature. That is how you teach other people how to treat you, because you will not be burdened with the encapsulation of living inside of a cocoon when you are fully developed. Your wings are fully developed. That's how you know. It's like, I can't stand doing this ever anymore. Like it's just I'm not available for it. Whatever that thing is. You might turn in your notice at work because you're like, I am so done with this. It's time for me to fly. You might do that in a relationship that has been long overdue for an overhaul, and you might get some help finally. Or you might decide that the relationship no longer serves you and that you leave it. Whatever it is. Or you might get just sick and tired of being fearful that you never have money in your bank account, and you actually go get the training you need or the help you need, or you start applying for the jobs you want and you go get financial stability. But at some point, We all break free. And to the extent to which that is a benefit to us is up to you. You might get 2 legs out of the cocoon and decide to suck them back in because you think everybody else is going to judge you for going out on your own and figuring out your life. That's just ill thinking. That's not a healthy mindset. You have no limits on you. You are not limited. And if you hear me say you are not limited, and you're like, oh, you say that, but I just don't know how. That's okay. It's okay not to know how immediately. There's a process to understanding how. I can help you get clarity if you want, but also trust your gut instinct. Just hang in there and figure out what it is that you're thinking about, because it's your belief system that it has you thinking that you're stuck and powerless. That's the thing that makes you the most angry and upset and dissatisfied. Because it's not true. If it was true that you're stuck and you weren't one of those butterflies that was born to fly and be free, you're not one of those, that would feel better if it was true. But it doesn't feel good. It never feels good. It's like, you just feel crappy about that whole idea. But the idea of maybe I could be happy too, maybe I could get out there and fly, maybe I could know my own worth, maybe I could understand my value, maybe I could go get my value, maybe I could help others see my value because I saw it in me first. Now that is where your power is. You can break free from your cocoon as soon as the dissatisfaction gets high enough for being locked away in a cocoon where you can't use your wings. But when it's time to spread your wings and expand, I guarantee your conflicts, your chaos, your contrast is going to be high. Because something has to push you to want to dig and scrap for that outside world so you can break free and go fulfill the measure of your creation. It is your plan. You were born as a little tiny creature, and you were also born to finish this out, to see it through and gain your wings and fly. Don't worry about the people that are dormant and decided that they were going to stay in their cocoon, assuming they could never fly. It's not your job to worry about those people. They can fly if they want to, but the chances of them flying is much greater when they see you do it first. You're the pattern breaker. You're the one that gets out there and shows them how it's done. And until you do, everybody plays small because they're just more likely to drag you into their misery than to show you how to get out of it. You're the one. You're the one you've been waiting for. And it's time for you to fly. So let's get going and let's get living. Thanks for listening. I invite you to leave your feedback and share your aha moments as you listen to this podcast. Also, you can access more information or any of the programs, courses, or worksheets that I've mentioned on these episodes on my website at teresaford.life. Or what I would really love is for you to connect with me on Instagram at teresaford.coaching and on Facebook at Coaching with Teresa Ford, so I can give you more interesting insights and further coaching to help you fulfill the measure of your creation.